Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Wrestling Tea Tarot. I am Calypso Vibes here with my partner, Jude. We're going to take a look at Chavo Guerrero since he is trending. And honestly, this is actually Chavo and Eddie Guerrero's energy. The first four decks, we're going to be taking a look at Chavo Guerrero and Eddie Guerrero's energy. And then we're going to be taking a look at Chavo Guerrero energy by himself. He has said some, antagonizing words on the internet that got people buzzing about he feels that Rey Mysterio and the Mysterios have been, and the WWE and the Mysterios have been milking Eddie Guerrero's legacy for far too long, and then he claims he was joking. But behind jokes, I say this all the time, behind jokes is intention, right? So let's see what the intention is. Is the intention to get buzz? Is the intention because he's going to be bought in to further this storyline? Or is the intention just to make the rivalry and the story more interesting and find himself some opportunity? Or is it both, right? Trying to get some buzz for the family, and at the same time he kind of means what he says, because I say it all the time, the way he said that's a loaded statement, right? Because a lot of people have felt that the WWE lately have been going hard in the paint on the Eddie Guerrero legacy, right? And they've even brought back LWO. That's all Eddie Guerrero's creation. That's not Rey Mysterio's creation.
And we talked about this at WrestleMania, during our WrestleMania videos.
Right. And it's no disrespect to Rey Mysterio. A lot of people get offended when you don't like their favorite wrestler, or you don't say things that people agree with. And, I've noticed that a few people in the videos that we do get very sensitive in their feelings when we don't like the same wrestlers they like, or point out some things that they may not agree with. And that's okay. That's the beauty about our channel. We're allowed our own opinions. But based on my own opinion, I definitely think WWE, outside of even Rey Mysterio, I think have milked the Eddie Guerrero legacy since that man has died. It has been well overdone. And when people do the shimmy shake and all that stuff, people say, oh no, that's the, pay homage to his legacy and all that. And I'm like, bro, it's been 15 years later. I don't know how long exactly it is, but I think we're almost there, close to that.
More than that.
Yeah, Eddie's been gone a long time, because right, it was around my son. My son's about to be 17. It's crazy. But Eddie's been gone a long time, and the fact that wrestlers still use his moves to get pops from the crowd. And you can say what you want to say, that it's paying homage to him, but they also do it for the pops from the crowd. So yes, his legacy, and I think that's the problem with a lot of the Mexican wrestlers. A lot of the Mexican wrestlers are living in Eddie Guerrero's shadow. Not even Rey Mysterio. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people say, oh, Rey Mysterio paid his dues. Yes. We know this. But Rey Mysterio has even said on Impulsive, on Logan Paul's thing, he was never big enough. And if Eddie Guerrero didn't die, he'd have never been world champion. That is the facts. It took Eddie Guerrero to die for Rey Mysterio to get pushed into the title picture and become a mega superstar. That's just the reality. He even admits he would have stayed mid-card. He'd have never hit the big times. So that in itself is taking accountability that he somewhat rode, he rode on the legacy of Eddie Guerrero to elevate in the business, right?
It's not to say that Rey wasn't nice, but...
Right, and it's not to say Rey didn't deserve it, but he said it. He was a small guy. Vinny don't like small guys.
Right. If Rey could be champ, why wasn't Hoobie champ?
Right.
Conan, a bigger guy and a lot of fun to watch in the ring.
So as y'all notice, we're not using the numerology or the astrology cards, because I want to get straight to the T. Right? I'm using 5 decks to pull on how the Guerrero family feels about all this behind the scenes, and what their relationship, to see if I can see what their relationship is with Rey Mysterio. But this reading is for Chavo and Eddie Guerrero and the Guerrero family. I want to see how the Guerrero family feels, honestly, behind the scenes. So we got escapade, vacation, hideaway, adventures, situations, right? Allegedly, this is all allegedly. You could say it out loud. Allegedly for entertainment purposes. Again, this is all alleged for entertainment purposes of just trying to, look back, right? We got recalling, reminiscing, memories returning. Of course, they are recalling Eddie's legacy, right? Then we got offers on the tables, right? And by the way, for a lot of people, y'all don't know, Chavo writes a lot of wrestling. Is a part of like Young Rock. He's a part of that wrestling show on Netflix. Like, people like, oh no, he's just looking for money and opportunities. No disrespect, Chavo Guerrero does a lot of stuff behind the scenes with a lot of wrestling programs, right? A lot of shows. He's called in for a lot of different stuff. Even the wrestling territories that he did with The Rock, that was Chavo with The Rock doing that stuff. So I looked into what Chavo's been up to, and Chavo's been busy. So it's not like he's just sitting around, right? And I'm not saying that, in some way, Chavo, in his own way, has milked his uncle's legacy. Because they all have. And that's the reality. Like, Chavo has to take accountability too. But I think to some degree, what I agree with of what he said is that his daughters, Eddie Guerrero's daughters, should be benefiting anytime there's something about Eddie being, distributed money-wise, right? Like bringing back the LWO and all these things, that his daughters should be reaping financial benefits. And I absolutely agree with that. I've said that. Like, as much as they milk Eddie Guerrero's legacy, his daughter should be seeing some kind of check. Again, I don't know if Vicky sold the rights to Eddie's legacy, like his name and his estate, and that might be why there's a lot of gripe between Vicky Guerrero and her daughters. Like the children, right? Eddie's children.
If you're interested in the Vicky Guerrero story, we did that video about 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, and it was dark.
It was dark.
It was dark.
I'm not reading Vicky again.
So, look, there's feminine. There it is. I just was talking about his daughters, and there they are. The divine feminine, offer on the table, and coming together, reconciliation, spiritual union. See, soul contract. This is by the way with Eddie and Chavo. So yeah, no, Chavo is thinking of his daughters. He means that. And by the way, Chavo's a what, Libra?
I believe he is.
Yes.
Well, if Eddie is, I think Chavo is also.
There was a lot of Libras in that family. Which they are about balance.
Yes.
The daughter.
Oldest daughter.
Yep, the daughter and Chavo and Eddie. Lockdown, mental prison. So yeah, look, he feels weighed down by the legacy, right? The grips, the chains anchored down, mental confinement. He took it hard. Like when I was even doing these cards, I felt emotional. I told you I was feeling like I wanted to cry. Like there's still raw wounds to Eddie. Wonder what the escapade vacation hideaway is. Possibly from the offer, or he's already on vacation while doing all this. I have no clue, right? But there's some verge. There's some tea spilling. Ooh. Chavo's been holding in some tea. But then there's some not facing the truth, irrational reasoning. So, there might be some irrational stuff being said, right? Like this selfish, like, oh no, it's art. Yeah, there it is. There's the gossip. So there's the tea and gossip. There's petty jealousy and envy. So if there is some envy, there is some jealousy that Ray is the one getting to fulfill these things for Eddie's legacy.
That story's been running since January of 2006.
Right.
When Ray won the Rumble.
Yes. That Guerrero was pissed. That Chavo was pissed. This has been a long story for years.
Right. Rey Mysterio is not a Guerrero.
Yes. And then there's denial, though, of not facing the truth. And maybe not facing the truth possibly is the fact that, Ray might really do come from a genuine place, right? Like, no, I didn't ask for this, but I do love Eddie, and I do try to respect his legacy. But Ray is making a lot of money right now, and he's admitted it. Big money is on the table, hence offers on the table. And I'm hoping this means that
so's Rhea,
So is Rhea. I told you that. Which I was a little offended by the "I'm your mommy." Like, no offense, she's not. She's not of the ethnic. She's not of the Latin demographic. Like, and to be wearing a "I'm your mommy" shirt that benefits Rhea Ripley's pockets and not the pockets of the estate. That's a little. And I love Rhea, by the way, y'all. Again, this is all alleged, but she's making money off of another person's culture.
And
that's not her.
Another person's whole gimmick.
Old gimmick, accurate, because that was Vicky's gimmick.
Well, I mean, it was the "I'm Your Poppy," of course, was Eddie's gimmick.
Yes, but
and she just took it directly.
Yes, but Vicky absolutely used to wear the mommy, and then China used to wear the mommy, the mommy gimmick. But that's
China
all
Mamacita,
yes, but that's all too soon. Yes, a lot of death. I'm not ready to do those readings yet, but we will touch into them. But yeah, there's some denial though. Chavo's a little irrational of not seeing some things, and that's fair.
At the end of the day, if WWE is producing all this merch, it's because they own it.
Right. It's true.
And so to say otherwise, you are in denial and you're not thinking rationally. Because from that perspective, it's business. From Chavo's perspective, it's personal, and he's right to take it personal.
But it's always going to be personal.
Yes.
It's going to, whenever their family name is in the news, and people could say Chavo never had the career, yes, but it doesn't matter. He is a Guerrero.
Right.
And it is actually his name, and he is bled in that ring like any other Guerrero to wear that name.
Bum that needed to be. Chavo was good.
Yeah, Chavo was good. He just never had the career his uncle had. And he never had the career Ray had. They chose Ray. And I'll tell you why, by the way. Like, a lot of people, Chavo has even gone on to say this, and I even agree. And I think it's very much true. Sorry, y'all. Y'all might hear the ice cream truck. Y'all know it's summertime here in Texas. It is sweltering hot down here. What a lot of people don't know or realize is Chavo, I think, got overlooked from being called up to the bigger scene, and they chose Ray over Chavo because Chavo looked too old. Like, Chavo,
right, he had the receding hairline.
Yes, and Vinny has been on record. There's so many wrestlers who have said, Ron Simmons,
Chavo couldn't have just worn like a blue helmet.
He should have just went bald. He should have. It'd have benefited him so much better. But Vinny hates wrestlers who have receding hairlines. Like, he doesn't like when you look old. And yet, that's Hulk Hogan. Oh my God, I don't understand. When we hear quotes of people saying, yeah, Vinny hates people with receding hairlines and guys who look old. And I'm like, bruh, Hulk Hogan, like...
Billy Graham.
Like, come on, man. Some of your top... Macho was balding.
Well, yeah, and then Macho got iced.
And then Macho got iced. It's crazy. It's true. Vinny don't like when you're going bald. And he will ice you. And I think because Ray wore a mask, they could sell the mask. I think they just compared who they could make more money off of. And it was a no-brainer that they would make way more money off Rey Mysterio than they would off of Chavo pushing Ray into that limelight. And it was just a matter of literally decision of money. And it's cold. That's cold, right? Like, even if it's business, people are like, well, that's just business. But business can be cold. Like, let's not act like business can't be cold, because it is. That, like, if that was my uncle that I love with my whole heart that died, and I'm watching somebody who's his friend, not of the family, get to, like, ride this humongous wave, and it ain't you, there's no way you're not irrational and in your feelings.
Like they waited until like a 1 year anniversary.
Nope.
No. Like,
it was immediately.
Rumble, like 3 months later.
Yep. So let's get into it. This is all allegedly for entertainment purposes, you guys. This is about the Guerrero family. Ooh, I told y'all he's still wearing a lot of heaviness. Destroyed, shattered, broken up, effed up, right? Sick. We got sick, right? And then we got... By the way, I was doing Eddie's energy, so I may be getting Eddie's energy. When Eddie died, wasn't he sick?
It was a heart event, I believe, that kind of came out of nowhere.
Right. But you should look it up, seriously, if he was sick before he passed. If he was feeling like any under the weather. It says under spiritual attack, fighting off negative energy, fighting spiritual warfare, needing to clear your energy. Oof. With the serpent wrapping around.
2 of those 3 I pulled last night for Jeff.
Yep. All right. Some dark stuff. That's why I really have not chosen to do Eddie yet. Fake apology. So yeah, I think Chavo's making fake apologies. He's insecure. There's envy. Yep. And we're getting the tea, y'all. Remember, this is all allegedly for entertainment purposes. This is Wrestling Tea Tarot. We're doing Chavo Guerrero and Eddie Guerrero, the Guerrero family. About how the Guerrero family feels about what's going on with WWE and Eddie Guerrero's legacy and how it's been used in the last 18 years, 17 years. All right, let's see if we can get any other cards. I am Calypso Vibes here with my partner Jude. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and turn on that notification bell for more videos. We are going to get into a whole lot of stuff coming up here soon. With the Dark Side, if y'all haven't heard, the Dark Side is coming back this year and they've announced a whole roster. And we plan to do tarot into everyone that they have announced. All right, let's see if we can keep this short. Total drama, kick to the curb. Oof. All right, y'all. This is exactly what I said happened about Chavo. Hi. Some of y'all just saw my face. I do plan to get on the camera soon. Like, I don't mind. But I just felt like it really wasn't no need when I'm doing the tarot. I kind of want y'all to pay attention to the cards and not me, which is why I've kind of kept myself off the camera. All right. We got shattered, destroyed, sick. There's been some spiritual attacks. Kick to the curb. Feeling kicked to the curb. Right? Which Chavo was. There's envy. We knew there was going to be some envy and jealousy showing up, right? There's drama. There's been drama since Eddie's died with the family. That is a fact. With the women in particular, there's been a lot of drama with the family. Insecure. This is not good energy we're seeing. Toxic. With, alcohol. Then a situation's about to explode. Things are about to pop off up in flames. We know the family is in absolute turmoil right now. With the drama, we can see things are about to pop off with the drama. Trash, throwing away, getting rid of, tossing out. That's how he felt. I think he felt very much kicked to the curb, disregarded, treated like trash. Riding it out. I think he's like riding the wave of the emotions, right? Just has had to learn to have, he has toxic traits though. And maybe even slightly some habits. And learning to ride the waves out of, all these feelings. Fake apology. What I tell y'all, there was truth to what he said and felt. And yes, he's apologizing, saying, oh, it was all a work. There was some truth to what he was saying. And I told you, there's always truth to a loaded explosion. X-Shop. As y'all see. I will not say what that says, but y'all can see. Some escapades. That's that escapade in that shop. You gotta be into some stuff. Be caught. Be careful. They both look the same. Salt or sugar. Looks can be deceiving. And there it is. That's Chavo, right? Chavo's like, oh no, it's all good. It's all good. But there's salt. And salt and sugar do look the same. So that's why I think he does feel both ways. Even when he's saying, oh no, I support things. I think he doesn't. I think he's also salty behind the scenes. And that's going to always be the reality. I just was explaining that there's salt and sugar when it comes to that Guerrero family. And then we have expecting new beginning. So I don't know if there's going to be a new storyline showing up or if Chavo's about to get into a new project or a new adventure with wrestling. But there's new beginning. Or if one of the Guerrero women possibly are pregnant or if Chavo's expecting another baby. I don't know. Or grandbaby. There can either be new life around Chavo. And or it's a new beginning of possibly being pulled into the storyline or new project. All right. Jude, do me a favor, take this, please. Let's get into the next set of cards. What do you think so far, Jude? That's 2 decks.
Well, I think the envy, insecurity, a lot of that is really to be expected, right? Again, like we talked about how Eddie, or how Chavo, rather.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but look at this. I pulled the Twitter bird, all this from Twitter, and I pulled it in the cards, all the drama and the gossip. There it is. Keep going.
How Chavo, didn't get anywhere near the kind of push that Ray got. I was actually just checking some dates, and the Kerwin White character that Chavo did, that ridiculous racist mockery character, was actually before Eddie's passing. Yeah, it was like that same summer, fall. Because I was kind of wondering, checking my memory, was this after Eddie passed and they relegated Chavo to this? But that was not the case.
Ooh, Lord, I think that's enough. His cards are coming out in abundance. There said abundance. Turn the card over, there's the fish. Didn't even get the words out my mouth. Oof. Yeah, that family's got a lot of brokenness to it. There's so much destructive energy and broken energy with the Guerrero family. All right, as y'all know, he started the tea, the gossip, watch your words, talking. There it is. I pulled the Tweeter bird. Literally the energy we're in with Chavo. I know. Your girl's good. So there's the confirmation. There's a lot of gossip, a lot of tea. That's what he wanted. Independence, be watchful, curious. He's watching all of this. He's watching everything that's been going on with his family. He's been watching everything that's being said. He's being very watchful and very curious to see how all this gossip and things are going to play out. Fun and games, not serious. See, he is playing games. Chavo's absolutely playing games. Good luck, good fortune, and blessings. I told y'all, he's been having money. He's been doing a lot of things behind the scenes. So he's definitely got good luck and good fortune on his side. Commitment, wedding, next level. So maybe that's the new beginnings. Chavo get married? Renewing vows or something? But because we have commitment, or I wonder if he's going into another contract, because there's that new beginning and commitment again.
Right. I don't think he's under contract right now. I think he's been out of the business since he went to go work on Young Rock.
Right. But there's fear, worry, doubts. There's definitely a lot of fear, worry, and doubts playing out. Next level, next phase, promotion. A lot of promotion, a lot of money deals. He's working on something that's a contract, that's a next level commitment that's going to bring him good fortune. Look closely, careful, pay attention. He needs to pay attention to something though. He might be overlooking something. He needs to look at that fine print. Worth fixing. Keep trying. Don't give up. Something's broken around Chavo. I don't know what is broken, but it's worth fixing, it's saying. Keep trying. I don't know if some of his relationships possibly with people are broken and he needs to work on it, or his relationships with Eddie's daughters. That family is very broken, right? They're all scattered. They're all split between getting along and not getting along. And I think that's him. Chavo's trying to mediate all of this stuff, right? Save yourself. You are enough. Solo path. So I don't know what he needs to save, but there's definitely something telling him to save himself. Cherry on top, extra blessings, bonus. Yeah, there's money. There's something we're not seeing or hearing, but there's money around Chavo at play. Abundant, self-employed business. I told y'all, he's got other ventures and other businesses and other things he's working on. There's nothing, so much money around him. Good luck. Cherry on top, abundance. Growth, renewal, paying off. Plant seeds. That's what he's doing. Plant seeds. All right, y'all. What do you think so far?
A lot of abundance in this draw, I think.
Right.
Chavo
there's a lot of money at play. Maybe he is benefiting. Yeah.
it'll pay off. You know, I don't know what that cherry on top is. If that's in his own work, I guess I would say I'd be kind of surprised if a check came out of nowhere with like LWO residuals, not even for Chavo, but for Eddie's kids.
Right. There's a lot of disharmony, though, amongst the family, as we currently know with Vicky and the kids. It's unfortunate. But anything else you feel, like, based on what you see? Story-wise.
Well, I don't know. I'm interested in what's
he might be benefiting financially from this and just not saying that. So it's playing games, right? Playing the storyline of it. All right, we're going to give it one last good shuffle.
I mean, I doubt that Chavo specifically doesn't want good things for Ray or Dominic.
Of course.
Right? It's more about the WWE propagandizing, again, from WrestleMania on. It's just been like, I've been tempted to check to see if Eddie's back on the roster.
Right? Oh my goodness. I mean, it has been like this whole year, Eddie, shake. Dominic even cutting his hair to look like him.
Right.
Like,
and I mean,
y'all can say what you want. You can love Ray all you want, but it doesn't change the fact that they have been hammering that legacy hard.
And, you know, Logan Paul loves pulling out the Three Amigos and the Frog Splash. Mercedes Bernardo loves doing it.
Right, and then
and she just did the LT grade.
She looked gorgeous though. He'd have loved it.
You know, again, she didn't speak his name.
No, and that's why I think it's different. She just came out with this gorgeous merch,
and I do think it's different, but it's not that different.
No, and yet, but I always think it's she wears things he wore. That's like, no, but she has said from the beginning, like, I wish I got to meet him. I would have loved for him to know how much he changed my childhood. Like, that's, I think when you wear that, like the gear of like something that's...
It ain't like she sells the gear.
No, and that's what I'm saying. She doesn't make
shirts of herself doing the shimmy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no financial gain from what she's doing.
It's appreciation, not appropriation.
See the difference? See how thin that line of difference is? But it is different. But Dominic talking about I should have been Eddie's son and then cutting his hair to look like Eddie, that's appropriation.
It is, but within the business and the storyline, it's a callback.
See? You see how they make you think it's something different, but it's not. It by definition, it is appropriation.
That ladder match over Baby Dominic was lit. And Dom has been a part of the Guerrero storyline since he was like 7 years old.
Yeah, that's his goddaddy.
Okay, so
again, I'm not hating on any of this storyline. It doesn't change the fact that I have said multiple times for the last 10 years that I felt that Eddie Guerrero, out of all the wrestlers that have passed on, is the most like milked legacy because they haven't built another Mexican to be bigger than him. Even Ray is not bigger than Eddie Guerrero, and the man has been dead 17 years and he's still not bigger than Eddie Guerrero.
Because Eddie was fantastic as a heel and as a babyface.
Yes. And Ray has only been a babyface. He has never done both.
Not a lot of workers are great at both.
Yes. And this isn't disrespect or shade to Ray. I love Rey Mysterio, but he has been one-dimensional. It has been for the kids, the mask, and being a babyface. That's his whole career. That's why I think it's been hard for any Mexican to compare to Eddie Guerrero because they haven't built anyone that way. Even when I think they got a Mexican on their hands that could even remotely be built that way, they drop the ball with them all the time. They're doing the same thing now with the Fatismo, with Escobar. Escobar for the first time.
I think Santos Escobar is nice.
I think Escobar is the first person that I looked at and I was like, oh my God, no, this is the guy who's like a nice hybrid of Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. And they can build him right. And they got Zelina Vega, who is fine like wine on him. You can't lose. And they're still dropping the ball with them. Reflecting shadow work, soul searching, deep introspecting. Yeah, hermit energy. So yeah, he is reflecting, like on, sitting alone, that memories, right? That looking in the mirror, that looking at the family. Like Chavo has had the unfortunate curse though of a lot of death around him. Eddie, his dad, I forgot, like I looked up, it's Eddie, his dad, and then like I think a close cousin. Like Chavo's been like the Guerrero family, kind of like the Von Erichs a little bit, y'all. And I mean that in the sense of dying young. People die young in that Guerrero family. So Chavo's had to deal with a lot of grief. Then y'all add on that Benoit dying, the forbidden name, right? And that had to hurt because, by the way, he was the last person Benoit called and left a voicemail on his phone. So he carries that weight on top of it.
Right.
And he found his uncle's dead body.
No. He found his uncle alive.
Right. And he died in his
He
arms.
was DOA by the time the ambulance showed up.
Right.
That is a fact. Chavo found Eddie like unconscious or semi-conscious with a toothbrush in his hand.
Right.
In shock as his heart was failing.
Yes.
I'm...
So, like, when I see the internet...
Chavo been through it.
Like, and I think that's why I get offended when I'm, like, reading all these comments on the internet, just, like, beating down Chavo. I'm like, bro, none of y'all can walk in that man's shoes. Like, he has had the unfortunate burden of all of that death. Either witnessing it or being the last connection to it. And still here. Still here. But he does struggle. And of course he does, right? Ace of Water, healing, romantic offer, renewal in love, compassion, emotions, new love. So yes, I've been pulling new love in his life. Like there's some new love. I don't know if it's passion, the business, or a woman.
Chavo been married like 25 years.
There you go. So maybe they're renewing. That's what the vacation is. Maybe they're renewing their vows or something. But there's definitely renewal, healing, and I'm happy for him, right? And he might be renewing his love and passion for the business, right? Self-care energy, low energy, depleted, cleansing, wanting time alone, recharge, retreat. There's the vacation and retreat, just constantly coming through, right? He's ready to go on a vacay. He's like, I need a reboot. Like Chavo's been busy. He's like, I need a reboot. Family, foundation, commitment. There we go. Home, marriage, celebration, security. See? That's why I wonder if he's going to renew his vows. Like this energy now knowing that he's been married a long time, right? And family's very important to him. And there he is. He's trying to be supportive to his nieces. And to some degree, Chavo's the head of the male family. Like he's the male of the family now. He's the head of the family. He's, his dad's no longer present. So he is the elder Guerrero now. And he's having to look after all these women in his life. Does he have children?
Yes, 2, I believe.
I don't
know. I can check.
Please. Mental clarity, ace of air, communication, breakthrough, decisive action, epiphany, sudden truth, plan. So he's working on stuff. He's getting mental clarity. He's working on things, and he's getting focused on something. Autumn, harvest, timing card. The past is over, starting over. Soul growth, clearing new intentions. See, he has new intentions. And he's healing the past. He is trying to heal this trauma that him and his family been through. And he's got a lot of growth, a lot of opportunity. My dude, if something's coming in the fall, I wonder if he's got a new show coming in the fall. I know he's been working with The Rock on Young Rock. The Rock has really bought Chavo in quite a bit for a few things that he does. And it's great to see.
Right. That's another very family-centric guy.
Yes. The Rock loves anybody whose family has grown up in the business.
Wrestling has more than one royal family.
That's a fact.
And Guerrero is a name that needs to be in that conversation.
It should be, and it's not, and it sucks. But the Guerreros have, like, oh my God, Eddie's what, a third gen, right? Or a second? Was Eddie and Chavo a second or a third gen? Disharmony, because I know all their uncles wrestled in Mexico, and I think the granddad even wrestled in Mexico. Disharmony triggers conflict, competition, arguments, harsh communication. So yeah, I think him and Vicky like have been at odds, right? Like, because again, we know there's so much drama around the Guerrero daughters, Eddie's daughters. And I think Chavo's really had to become a father figure to them girls and step up here lately to help heal, because he said he supports Eddie's daughter and he believes her, right, about the abuse. Apology, forgiveness, guilt, wants to speak their heart, compassion, emotional confession. He wants to talk about Eddie. He wants to heal through talking about stuff, expression, right? I think he kind of feels some guilt that he couldn't save Eddie, right? This forgiveness, this heavy heart, right? Twin flames. Yeah, him and Eddie were twin flames. Because when I did this reading, I asked about their energy, right? This is their energy, right? Telepathic, spiritual, magnetic, divine connection. Yeah. Like, he loved his uncle. Like, the bond with them was very, very, very strong. Very strong. Masculine energy, yang. Logical, confident, assertive, protective, wounded. He's wounded. Controlling, aggressive, and, a little bit of ego. That's what we're getting on Chavo, right? That the twin flame is masculine energy, which is Eddie coming through. So Eddie's coming through even on this reading. His divine connection with his nephew. And I definitely think Chavo still feels guilty about feeling like he couldn't save Eddie, because that's really what's coming through. These cards is definitely more their relationship of the reflection, shadow work, looking in the mirror, trying to heal that trauma, heal the pain from that. But there's triggers. There's definitely things that trigger him.
Just to kind of reset the scene, Eddie is second generation, but Eddie's brothers were all so much older than him that it kind of feels different. Right? Eddie's born in 1967. The father, the patriarch, Gory, was born in 1921.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he was definitely a late life baby for Gory. By the way, Gory Guerrero, oftentimes credited as inventing the camel clutch.
Ah.
Gory Guerrero, #1.
Got it. This is going to wrap up Chavo Guerrero, you guys. He's having to control his feelings. All right, y'all, let's wrap this up. Thanks for watching. If you've tuned in, please make sure you like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell. We appreciate you watching. I wish the best to Rey Mysterio. I wish the best to Chavo Guerrero. I wish the best to the Guerrero girls. Like, again, at the end of the day, I think there isn't no hard feelings. I haven't pulled hard feelings in these cards at all. I just think there's a lot of healing that needs to be done with the Guerrero family. And I think there needs to be some more respect put on the legacy of the Guerrero family, and maybe not be so overused. And it's time WWE absolutely, puts respect on the Mysterio family and let Rey create his own line, his own legacy, and, have a little bit more creative freedom in creating something new for himself. And, harp less on the Guerrero family. Because as long as the Guerrero family stays in the limelight so much, it also stops them from healing. Union, doing something with someone, coming together, working together, collaborating. So there we go. There's the union. This is Chavo. This is Chavo as an individual. So yeah, he's working with somebody. He's working with Rey and the family. I assume this is still working together, right? There's definitely a collaboration coming down the line. Or that could be him and The Rock. It could be him and Dominic. There's something playing behind the scenes, but there's something coming together, a union. Psychic reader, gaining confirmation, clarity. Is this more of this clarity? Having natural fit psychic powers, consciously seeking answers. I think he's definitely seeking advice on what he should do. He's definitely getting counsel. He's definitely leaning into his spirituality of finding out if, what he's about to do, if these things are the right decision, because this is coming after it, right? And he needs to have courage, mental, moral strength to venture, withstand danger, difficulty, and persevere. And I do think he's been doing a lot of things out of his wheelhouse, out of his norm, doing a lot of the projects he's been doing. But he needs to stay on the road because there's so much money and abundance and fortune around him. So Chavo's very creative, containing, controlling one's feelings, restraining. He's got repressed emotions. He has never told us how he's really felt about a lot of things. Oh, by the way, he's repressed a lot of things. In your power, living from an empowered place, cultivating inner strength, taking your power back. He's taking the name back. There's some of this truth. There's some truth to what he's saying. Like, this is my family, my legacy, and I'm the patriarch of this family now. And he's commanding a little bit more respect for himself and his family. Waiting for something, patience. He's waiting for something to come through. So I'm saying they're working on something. There's a union. There's something coming together. There's some courage. He's got guilt. He still has guilt, feeling of sadness, guilt, and shame. Regret over your decisions. He regrets something. He needs to heal this, right? This guilt of not feeling like he did something right. Direction, being on the right path. I told y'all he's on the right path. Finding direction in life, finding your own North Star. He's carving out his own path. He's carving out his own legacy, he's walking a different road than Eddie. So people need to stop comparing the two. Like they're choosing different life paths, and it tend to be like that, right? When you have this famous person in your life, and we love to diminish people who come from these lines of, like, Charlotte is the prime example of people will never give her the respect she deserves, even though she's better than her dad, right? And I'm not saying Chavo's better than Eddie, because he's not in the ring, but he's carving out a path that's just completely different, and comparing the two is not fair because they're walking completely different paths in life, or have in life, because Eddie's passed. You could move far away, distant places, people. There we go again. That travel, on the move, right? Ready to do something. An opportunity is right. There we go. So this stuff with the internet is about timing, right? The working on something, like even getting the people talking on the internet a buzz. So it's timing of something. Like, again, there's a union. This is all timed. This has all been orchestrated. Let me put it that way. Orchestrated in time. Allowing yourself pleasure. There we go again. That X card, doing something pleasurable. My guy's got I don't know if that's an addiction for him, but that's not my business. But let me tell you, it's come through twice. He's got a high aptitude, whatever the word is, for pleasure. And then we got risky choices. Here we go. One will heal, the other is toxic. That's that toxic card that's coming through, right? He's at a crossroad of, like, everything he says and does right now can either hurt the family or heal the family. Choice between good and evil, danger, risk, and warning. And that's the reading for Chavo Guerrero. Anything you want to add?
Well, I think, we saw the kind of exhausted car, right? The worn down. And you mentioned it yourself. Every time that Eddie's name is in someone's mouth on television, that's another prick of the needle, right? Mm-hmm. Like it kind of peels the scab a little bit, picks at the scab a little bit, and it may really have been one of those moments where enough was enough, and he's been worn down, and I don't know, maybe he was tired and didn't have his mental defenses up, or maybe, had a little something to sip on. I don't know what his habits are. And, there's that Twitter machine. Mm-hmm. And he said something that, even if he meant it, or meant it a little bit, maybe he regretted it, because at the same time, yeah, you're now, throwing shade at the earnings of someone who is close to your family.
Right.
And maybe he regretted that, not because he didn't think it was true, but still he doesn't want to wish for, someone else to not get their abundance.
Right.
And so, yeah, there's
I don't see
absolutely
any.
conflicting things
I don't
here.
see malicious intent
Right.
in his cards. Let me make that clear, y'all. I don't see malicious intent with Chavo Guerrero. That's all that matters. I don't see it malicious intent, and I didn't feel that. I actually felt. I told you at the beginning I wanted to cry. It's much more emotional than it is malicious intent, and because again, as a Libra, he don't like confrontation.
Sure.
But I also feel like he feels that people don't count his feelings, and they don't. Everybody's like, oh, well, Eddie and Ray and this and that, but no one ever thinks about Chavo's feelings. And I told you that this cross he's had to bear, right, of being in the middle of so much heavy stuff, and no one ever asked Chavo, "Are you okay?
Right.
How are you coping, Chavo?"
And I don't care what anyone says. This was a very nostalgia-heavy WrestleMania. We saw this in the cards, but before it even happened.
Yes. Oh my God, that they were going to play Eddie's memory up heavy, and they did.
And then, 1 or 2 days later, Sherilyn Guerrero, goes on social media and kind of reiterates her telling of the assault that occurred allegedly back in 2020.
Mania, right.
Right? That was right on the heels of Mania. And again,
this has all been crazy.
So she was also seeing and feeling the same thing, thinking about her family.
That she chose to speak right after Mania.
That she chose to speak. So, yeah, it's a complicated situation.
That's why I said every time they say his name, they're pricking the family. That's why I said they need to keep his name out of their mouths for a while. Let that family heal, because they need it. They're a mess, and it doesn't help that Vicky is a mess. And maybe his daughters haven't been properly compensated because Vicky inherited the money, not them.
Yeah, I mean, they were children.
Yes, so they don't feel like they've inherited their dad's estate properly. It's just a mess. It is, y'all, and y'all should check out the Vicky Guerrero video to understand that it's a mess. It really is.
And I don't like this to be a habit, like every time we do a video that's a little bit heavy, but if you're processing with grief and need grief counseling, get help if you need help.
Right, talk to someone.
Because it feels like this family, again, still has issues to unpack and process.
They do. All right, you guys, we hope you have enjoyed the reading on Chavo Guerrero. Thanks for watching. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. Let us know anything else you would like to see. But this has been my reading on Chavo Guerrero and Eddie Guerrero and their relationship and that family. Hope you've enjoyed it, and check out our other videos that we'll be posting. What?
We are Wrestling Tea Tarot.
We're Wrestling Tea Tarot. Can you let me do my thing? See this? Like, I don't do this to him, but look at him do it to me. Love you guys for watching. We appreciate it. Until next time, bye.